Welcome to AI Everywhere Leaders. We have a special edition today. We are going to talk with an amazing AI professional that I had the chance to know for more than 20 years now. Sergiu, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adriana. It's really nice to be here. I'm super excited to have this conversation with you today.
I'm super excited as well. So, for our listeners, I know Sergiu since we were literally kids studying computer science in university. We got the chance to work together throughout the years, and now we still share the same passion for AI. Sergio has been doing some amazing work with one of the biggest companies in the world, if I might say, at Microsoft. Can you share a bit with my audience about Microsoft, your role, what you're doing there?
Sure. At Microsoft, I'm cloud and AI specialist working with top ISVs and digital natives in EMEA. This means that every day I wake up and I'm trying to solve the biggest problems digital natives and software companies usually have in accelerating their AI journey, which means that I act as a trusted advisor, both business and technical, into guiding them on how to apply AI, how to apply generative AI to their product in order to solve the everyday problems they have with their customers.
Amazing. That's quite impressive. It is a lot, isn't it? Both sales, technical. You are also into products. I know you love a good product. When you talk about digital natives and ISVs, can you explain a bit which sort of companies they are? Of course, if you're allowed to share that, to make sure that people that maybe are not in the industry and so familiar with the topic know what we are actually talking about.
Okay, when you think of digital natives, usually you think of cloud born companies. So, companies that started in the last couple of years and they are trying to solve in a different way a problem that exists on the market for a long time. Think of autonomous driving, improving how you do everyday work. So, these types of things. ISVs are more mature organizations that have been for a while on the market. Their sole purpose is to develop software products that can be useful for every enterprise organization on the planet.
You've been around the block, so to say, for a couple of years now. So you witnessed digital transformation in multiple stages throughout the decades, I can say now. Don't hate me for that. So I was wondering from your experience and working with all the digital natives and ISVs in your current role, how have you seen the current AI transformation progressing, especially in the last couple of years, 3, 4, 5 years?
It's a great question. And before OpenAI brought generative AI onto the market a few years ago, actually, AI has been here for a very long time. However, AI was being developed in some niche corners, some really innovative companies by some cool R&D guys, and that's it. It wasn't something very opened. Usually they were doing advanced machine learning models, doing voice to text, doing text to speech or image recognition and different other things. Cool scenarios, but somehow niche. Now, when OpenAI appeared on the market with their first model, there was what is called an inflection point on AI. OpenAI ChatGPT, the first version, in only 5 days, it got up to 1 million users.
It's insane. I know.
And in the first 2 months, they got to 100 million users. So the transformation was huge. Now, this comes as any novelty. It was interesting at the beginning. However, generative AI brought a different type of transformation. Since using natural language to interact with a chatbot, for example, let's take the simplest scenario, using natural language makes the technology much more accessible, makes any interaction you have with a product much more accessible. Behind the scenes, having access to a huge database, because this is what generative AI actually brought differently. They were trained on a massive amount of data and they could respond in really fast times with information that otherwise you would need minutes or hours to explore and get it out there. From this ease of use, it transformed a lot of industries. making AI accessible not only to the R&D engineers, but actually to marketing departments, to human resources departments. So very fast, people started using differently any type of product. Now, from 2, 3 years ago, when ChatGPT appeared, the technology actually advanced really fast. And what we're seeing right now, we're not only talking about chatbots that understand the natural language, no matter the language that you're speaking, text or voice. We are looking at much more complex use cases using agentic AI, basically agents or AI that's able to do actions on top of answering, let's say, everyday questions that initially you are asking ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's impressive. So you can guide us through a bit the history and what happened in the last couple of years. And I know we have now the opportunity to work with orchestration agents, and we can have agents talking with each other and actioning actually what we ask them to do in a sort of a autonomous way. From the digital transformation perspective, for those companies you mentioned, the digital natives and ISVs, what does it mean for them towards their customers? What changed the game?
I think there are two different trends. Startups and digital natives started embedding Gen AI into their core products really fast, which enabled them to actually bring new products to the market that challenge the market on their specific field. Let's take a startup from a fintech, for example. Using Gen AI, they were able to understand much better different insights from their specific field, build better products, so challenge the entire fintech market into bringing new products faster to the market. So, in general, startups and digital natives adopted Gen AI extremely fast. The advantage of this type of companies, because they're focused on developing products and software, is that they do not think only on a few use cases or a top layer, how to bring some scenarios that solve, let's say, the conversation layer, but actually they're looking at how to embed and infuse generative AI deep into their products, rethink how they put products on the market, rethink the customer experience, and actually go beyond on how you automate the entire software development cycle, how you make for your customers the product simpler, faster, without the need to actually do a lot of repetitive tasks, for example. So I think the transformation is extremely important. And if we are looking at 2 years ago when everybody was doing POCs and trying to test and see how it's done, right now we are looking at many more mature scenarios and actually production level deployments of software using Gen AI.
So basically, what I'm hearing right now is that at the moment, you actually have solid use cases and you can see on specific generative AI or even agentic AI solutions, you can see the results on certain industries, on certain customers.
McKinsey released a study case recently in which they were saying that each enterprise organization uses at least one use case with Gen AI right now, which I think it's completely different than what we had a few years ago.
Yeah, of course. Probably a few years ago, they would use AI in a form of predictive data analysis without even knowing they have AI. They wouldn't. I think to your earlier point, what you mentioned about OpenAI, what that changed is like everyone or most of the people on the planet now, they think they know AI because they got access to all the ChatGPT of the world. Let's go back to the McKinsey stats. That's a very interesting one. What do you see from your perspective, working directly with the top digital natives and ISVs? What are the trends you observe in terms of solutions that they apply to customers?
I can give you a very simple example on how we do it at Microsoft. Every product in Microsoft right now has a Copilot.
Wow.
Every single product. a Copilot that is grounded into that specific data set. For example, you have Copilot for Microsoft 365, right? So Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, so on. Every one of it understanding your existing context without the need to explain it. For example, if you're having a Teams call, you're going to have a Copilot that's able to summarize your call. It's able to extract information, prepare a list of tasks and the follow ups after the call. If you are in PowerPoint, it will be able to help you to create slides or different elements for your slides or a structure for your next presentation without the need to explain it where you are, so on and so forth. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We just announced that Ignite this week, for example, a Copilot for Azure, which actually enables you to identify if you have, for example, an error on your website or in your deployment, which of the services is not configured properly. So it's not only
Wait, let's not double click on it. It actually, so what it does, it actually goes deep down and checks the setting
yes, in Azure
and does
portal,
like a continuous analysis on your website and the services, and then gives you a report on what's happening.
Let's take a simple example. You have deployed your website into a container, into behind a firewall, and you have some resource group configuration into a specific region,
Yeah.
let's say, and something doesn't work or something breaks. And you can actually do the deep dive on what's happening and you get the recommendations on how to fix that from your Azure console without the doing hours of research, going through different other things.
Do you think that this means that the 1 million or $1 billion company, it's there right now, like with all the copilots and all the tools and everything we're talking of right now? I'm literally getting goosebumps. Everything we're talking about right now, do you think that it enables people or smaller companies to be super competitive and advance their go-to market and the whole operations really much quicker and development and research?
Yes, and this is why I love the job that I'm doing, because working with startups, digital natives, companies that are at the forefront of AI transformation, they are able to fast track years of product development to a few months. And that's very simple. You have GitHub Copilot to write code, right? A lot of the repetitive tasks that you needed to fill in and create, now you can do it with a prompt. You still need to think the entire architecture on how to do it, but it simplifies a lot the process. Then you have different tools for testing, Q&A, so on and so forth. So I think we are in a very cool moment in which everything that we do will be transformed using AI to be much more efficient, to take out from our jobs those things that are repetitive and we don't like them. I don't like
them.
30% of the, or at least a lot of the admin work I need to do every day. I don't like it. I like to do this type of conversations. I like to do deep transformations, but there's a lot of behind the doors things that I need to do. It's much easier using different types of copilots and embedded applications into that specific domain where you have the competency.
Yeah, that's impressive. And I think we need more conversation where people from different industries can exchange information and inspire each other and see the art of possible, like what's possible to do. Because the first time, to share a personal story, the first time I've got the chance to see a chat GPT, but I was working for a different company. So I got the chance to see that in advance. So I've asked the senior solution architect, what does it do? And he was like, just talk with it. And I was like, do I ask about the weather? Is it like an Alexa, or what can this technology do? So I think the moment we all get to see an example and the use case, we get more and more inspired, regardless if it's in a different industry or if it's in a different department. Like, you just get inspired and you have ideas. And the example you just gave, this is mind blowing. It's like you have your own, checking your website continuously and figuring out what's wrong, explaining you how to do it which makes me think a bit about the future of work. And I would love to know your thoughts. Where are we heading? What's your sort of vision prediction?
I think we are just at the beginning of a transformation that will change how we do work. With, as I was saying, a lot of the repetitive tasks will be taken over by AI agents, which means that we'll be able to focus more on that creative part, on what's meaningful for us, and have more quality time with our family, friends, and so on and so forth. Let me give you an example how I start my day. Before going into meetings, I have the Copilot that actually is preparing a summary of what are the most important meetings, what are the topics that are selected for those meetings, and it goes back into my Outlook emails and chats and prepares for each specific meeting, prepares a list of topics that I need to be aware of. The cool part is it goes into my specific context. So it's not generic. It knows my emails. It knows what I work. It knows what I need to do in that day. So the information is customized to me. And that's absolutely amazing. It's like having a personal assistant that I never had.
But now you do.
But now I do. This changes the way I work, allows me to be more focused, allows me to concentrate on those things that actually matter and where I can bring value without being burnout from the operational work that I need to do before the meetings or after the meetings doing the follow ups.
That's amazing. It obviously has access to your calendar and so on. Can you actually select your objectives? Let's say in a corporate world, like your quarterly objectives and things like that, and know the strategy? Does it know the strategy and your objectives and then organize the tasks based on that? Sorry if I'm going too much science
No,
fiction.
you're not going too much. This is the cool part. So you have right now you can do anything, right? You have the generic Copilot, let's say, that works with your teams, with your contacts, so on and so forth. But as you said, you need to augment it to know some specific things like the goals that you have in this quarter, which can be predefined, and to adjust your preferences or priorities based on some specific things. Now you have tools like Copilot Studio, for example, that actually help you to augment that experience, to bring in some additional features and actions, and that's very easy. It's a user experience interface in which you can configure very simply your processes and what you need to add on top. And then you're going to have a much more advanced customized agent. This is if you want to do it yourself with any knowledge, let's say any technical knowledge behind the scenes or anything else. Now, if you're an ISV, for example, and you work in a specific field where you want to improve how different employees in a hospital, for example, work, you're going to bring that expertise and you're going to build a product that would be specific for that hospital, for that industry, with much more knowledge, domain knowledge that you put together, bringing that specific expertise you have and actually creating a unique copilot for that environment.
Yeah, that's amazing. So as a single user, be super egocentric and give myself an example. As a single user, can I define workflows where I involve people that are not within my organization and give them, I don't know, collaborate, work together on different projects, tasks, and define the whole process?
That's the difference, if you want, on what agentic AI is compared to a simple agent. With a simple agent, you have that Copilot experience that you can customize. When you're looking at workflows, you want to map the workflow that you're doing. You want to add actions and to have interactions maybe with different other agents. Let's say you work in human resources and you want to simplify the onboarding process of the organization. The onboarding process usually goes from trainings to providing the IT equipment for a new employee to doing some different paperwork and so on and so forth. So you will define the entire process with different agents that are specialized for different tasks. You'll have, for example, an agent that will do learning and trainings that could go into the new employee calendar and schedule the trainings based on that person availability. So not generic onboarding courses that conflict with your everyday activity. You're going to have another one that will open a Jira ticket, for example, for a new laptop and create the account and whatever you need there. And you, as a human resources employee, you will supervise the workflow and make sure that these agents are doing their work and approve the final result on the onboarding, which is a completely way of looking at the process. If right now you need five or different people doing different things for this workflow, gonna need five, let's say, AI agents that will perform that activity. You will supervise them, approve it, and it will be much more customized for every person.
So, what do you see from the ISV's perspective? How do they accelerate their learning and development process for their internal employees?
Very interesting question. I think one of the biggest challenge every organization actually has when adopting AI, it's actually the cultural transformation. It's not necessarily the technical part. The technical part, it's easy and very straightforward. The most difficult one is how do you understand what generative AI can do? How can you apply generative AI to all your processes and redefine your processes in order to meet the new capabilities, let's say? Cultural transformation actually means understanding what AI can do for you, understanding the language, what a prompt is, for example, what's an AI agent, what it can do and what it cannot do, because it cannot do everything. What are the limitations? And then applying that to your everyday work. Companies that started this 2 years ago are already advanced, and they are advanced in regards to how they understand trainings, how they enable the organization to apply AI in different departments, like finance, for example, or operations that never had the chance to transform the way they are doing their business. Let me tell you a very funny story. We did, I think, 1 year ago with one of the local banks. We had a workshop, an ideation workshop on how to apply AI to them, and we invited different representatives from different departments. Over 80 people arrived in a workshop. We were surprised by the number. We were expecting about 10 or 20.
Oh, wow.
And they generated in 1 hour over 150 use cases in only 1 hour on how their life could be easier if they used Gen AI or automation into their systems. So the applicability, it's amazing.
But that's the thing, isn't it? I see many people, they are interested in learning about AI. Like just yesterday, I was talking with a business owner. He's managing a huge advertising agency. He has more than 25 people. And I was trying to explain him what he can do to automate the things that can be automated because we're at the scratching the surface level. We're actually talking about automation. It's not even AI. And he told me, really stressed, I don't have time.
Mm.
Like, I don't have that hour you're talking about. Don't have that time. I would love to know. I would love to learn how to build my own agents, how to do workflows, but I don't have time. I looked at him and I was like, how do I say this? You need to make yourself time. If you're not making that time of 1 hour or 2 hours or even 20 hours to just remove yourself from the daily hustle, you are not going to be able to gain that time back to spend it, as you said, with your friends, with your family, and so on.
There is a common thread that, yes, I don't have time to invest in AI. I need to understand what's the ROI before investing and do a business plan, so on and so forth. The reality is, if you don't start today to understand what AI can do for you and how you can implement it, there's somebody else that is doing that right now. So, with the speed that AI can transform businesses, in a few years, there will be new companies, less than a few years, that are doing the same thing that you do, much faster, much better, at a lower cost, and that will compete with you. There is a study from IDC. Actually, in 2024, they released this study and they were saying that ROI for every dollar invested in AI brings back 3.5x. So for every dollar, you're going to get
And it was from
$3.5.
2024.
That was in 2024 at the beginning of Gen AI. Right now, they came back with a study and they said that actually the ROI is 3.7. So it's actually much higher.
I was expecting to say 8 times. Like I was expecting even much higher.
I think the difference is on the speed and scale.
Okay.
Because use cases that in the past you could have done them with AI in 3, 5 years, now you can do them in a few months. So you can get that ROI much more faster. The resources or the investment that you need to do in AI, not that high. You don't need huge R&D teams, huge infrastructure to build your own AI model. There are off the shelf extremely powerful models that cost just a few cents to use them at a big scale. That's
You
the
just
transformation.
You just need to take that time, that hour, and actually learn how you go to the shelf and how do you
You need
buy
to
and
start,
customize.
and you need to start today. Somebody else already started in your industry, in your domain. I see people that understand AI from different fields very fast. They're gonna own the market in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So I don't think in that point anymore where you still need to ponder if you need or not AI. It's how fast can you start and how much you can invest in transforming your business with AI.
Yeah, and I see there is also this hype about learning AI at the user level. I don't know if it's going on in the companies as well. But then there is companies like Microsoft and others, right? They have free training. The free training is there. You just put 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever 3 minutes in the day you can allocate to this, and you can train yourself. It might take you longer, humanly speaking, but it's not going to be a week, it's going to be some time, but you can still do it for free, right?
I remember when I was building the first e-commerce platforms, we worked together on those projects. I think the first e-commerce platform, it took us a few years to
Develop
actually to develop and
to test
integrate
it.
it.
Oh my God.
Right now, to build a simple e-commerce site using this type of AI application takes you a few hours.
With everything connected, with the
With everything
structure,
connected,
even the branding, the
brand,
products, the
and
descriptions,
much more.
product descriptions. Do you
And
remember how much time we were
yes,
spending for that? Like it was insane.
and think of it goes beyond that. It goes to hyper personalized content based on who the customer is, which is the profile that customer has. So you don't need to
Yeah.
have the same website for thousands of customers. You're going to have thousands of versions that are tailored for your specific needs.
Do you think there will be like soon enough a world where me as a customer, you as a customer, you can select the user experience you want to have, as in, I want to see things on a certain color, or just discuss with a copilot or with an agent and say, I want this jacket in this color. When it reaches this price point, just buy it for me. Do you think we're going to see this sort of?
I think this is already happening in different parts of the world. So it's not something extreme. I read this morning about a campaign in India where a confectionery company using AI was able to replicate their campaign to promote local stores for each community using AI to create thousands of different campaigns, which in reality would have been impossible to manage.
So
And
that would be customized for the geolocation,
geolocation, exactly.
proximity, basically.
And with the shop next door name in shops next door name in the commercial, and not very generic go to the shop
Yeah.
next door, it would be like go to Mark's shop and buy it from there. So it changes completely the way you interact with product. That's on advertising. On the other hand, companies that are fashion companies, for example, already look at how you can customize the shopping experience in the sense that the website already knows what are your measures, how they fit your body based on your measures, what to recommend based on that, and actually go a little bit beyond. Let's say you can tell it, okay, I'm going to an event tonight. Is this type of event? They will go and look how's the weather for tonight, propose you an outfit based on the event type, based on your measures, and you can buy it with one click, or you can even see it before that with a digital avatar, how that will look on you. And this is happening right now. It's not for the future.
Yes, it's impressive. We actually had Antonia Dumitriu from Irisfera, which is a Romanian-owned company, and she built this Irisfera exactly for that. So she creates your avatar and everything, and she's working with small, medium brands to enhance the customer experience. I was very proud to have her talk with me. And she also been recently at the Web Summit in Portugal, and she's been wearing the Romanian flag on stage. So I was like, I had a little proud moment to see her doing that. But yeah, there are lots of applicability solutions. And I just want to go a bit back to the healthcare topic because it's one I'm particularly interested in, the healthcare and life sciences industries as well. Have you seen any use case in healthcare recently that you thought to yourself, "Oh my god, like this is wow."
In general, working with ISVs on specific industries, you go for these wow use cases, and there are plenty. There are different use cases in financial sector. Manufacturing has some amazing use cases. I think I had to work a few months ago on a really cool use case on healthcare. And that's really important because on healthcare, everything that you're able to simplify or automate in the end saves lives. We were looking with one of top ISVs from my portfolio on how we can simplify a surgery process in a hospital. And that's not a simple task because from the moment you start doing some investigations up to the point in which you, let's say, need to have a surgery, there are different flows and processes in which you need to go. Different doctors you need to meet, different schedules that need to be aligned based on the complexity of things that needs to be solved. And this is very dynamic, changes on each hospital. They have their own procedures and changes based on every market. So there's one thing happening in Romania, completely different thing happening in Spain. In Spain, where we tried this use case, the average time from the initial moment to the actual surgery on a hospital was 134 days.
Wow.
Using what we actually looked at was what type of agents we need to put into in where on the workflow in order to simplify. And we came up with a few. There was one agent that was looking at all your pre-work analysis, and when you're going to the doctor that needed to do the assessment, was actually making the proper summary, highlighting what you are missing, or highlighting specific risks that the doctor needs to take into account. For example, if you're missing documents for how your heart is working, they will highlight that. So simplify the process for the doctor. Now, this went a little bit deeper. Like, for example, think of scheduling the surgery, which is a very, for complex surgeries, you need to align the schedule of different doctors, and as a manual process to do that takes a lot of time. We had one agent that was going through different calendars and proposing the best time slots and aligning all those calendars for a specific time. All this was done with transparency. All this was done having all the PII and GDPR data being clearly separated and everything taken into account so it's secure and takes into account the confident information for each patient. On top, what we were trying to do, and this was the most interesting part, we were trying to predict what the surgery cost will be, not only at the end, but at every step on the workflow So you would know how that evolves based on different things that are happening or how the diagnostic evolves. At the end, we were able to save or reduce that time from 130 days to less than 30 days
Oh, wow.
from the initial contact to surgery. Imagine doing that at scale, not only into one hospital, not only for one patient, but doing it at a global level. The impact is tremendous.
Yeah, I think that's amazing because we are suffering from lack of resources in the healthcare industry, especially in the UK. It becomes a real problem nowadays. So yeah, 30 days from 130 plus is just, it's truly impressive. And this is life changing, right?
It's life changing. And imagine that it takes out the fatigue the doctors are having exactly from being overburdened with too many cases, too many administrative work. So allowing them to do the work they're good at
Yeah.
in less time, it's actually saving lives.
Without the stress of
Yes.
things changing last minute, not knowing where you're going, what you're doing, when are you available to actually go to your kid's birthday and so on. Yeah, that's truly inspiring. Really a pleasure seeing you, Sergio, today. Thank you so much for all your insights and sharing the knowledge and the enthusiasm. Before we say bye for today, I wanted to ask you a couple of very quick questions. We might cut that. I don't know. We shall see. So, what's your prediction in the future of work? What's going to change in the next 3 to 10 years?
People that use AI will replace people that don't use AI. And it's not the other way around. AI will not replace people, but people who use AI will replace those that don't use AI.
Excellent. What's your favorite tool in your business, professional life?
Definitely Copilot for Microsoft 365 is like my personal assistant, and it's impossible to start my day without that.
What's a piece of advice you would like to give to the people that are now in their early careers, in their early 20s?
Learn as much as you can, start experimenting. You're going to find tools from writing code, writing applications everywhere for free. The technology is accessible. You need to do it. And it's really catchy.
Now, a personal work life balance question. What's your secret for being joyful, healthy, and always excited about life?
I really love what I do. I really love the technology transformation. And I'm trying to be part of the change. And that excites me.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sergio. It has been a truly great pleasure talking with you today. And for our listeners, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and share the episode with a friend or colleague. Until next time, take care.